Hello, friends. Today we're talking about Mars in Sagittarius. So that's going to be from December 27th through February 5th. And this is for Aries sign, either Aries Lagna, which is the rising sign, or Aries Rashi, which is the moon sign. So this is number one sign, Aries. And as you can see, Mars is in the ninth house, in the sign of Sagittarius. So for Aries sign, Mars is going to be in the ninth house. And of course, Mars is the Lagna Lord for Aries, right? So Mars is the Lagna Lord and the eighth house Lord. So that's the energy we're talking about. December 27th through February 5th, Mars is going to be in Sagittarius. Now, first of all, Mars itself, the planet, it's full of energy. It wants action, wants protection, wants to conquer territories, wants to do things, achieve things, right? And then Sagittarius is a very, very independent sign. Sagittarius likes to go, explore outdoors, in nature, and ruled by Jupiter. And the theme is spiritual progress. It could be a little bit fundamental, like extreme fundamentalist attitude, like, my way or highway. So that's the caution for Sagittarius. Especially Mars in Sagittarius could mean extreme independence. Okay, so Mars anyway doesn't like company. Mars is a very independent, go alone planet. So Mars and Sagittarius, these people may actually ignore everybody else or their suggestions and things like that. But of course, we also have the blessings of the Jupiter because we have the aspect of Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Jupiter is dispositor of Mars. So the ruler is casting an aspect. So it's keeping an eye on its house. Um, so that's good. So Mars will not go crazy on its own. There will be, protection from the guru, from the Jupiter. But for Aries sign, because Mars is also the Lagna Lord, that means your entire focus will be on the ninth house, on Sagittarius. So you will have, this will be your passion, your dharma, your karma, everything you would want to go, spend time with the gurus, spend time with your father, or do things with your father. Although it's, Mars Sagittarius very independent, but because Jupiter's aspects, it'll guide you towards collaboration with gurus. That's going to be the big theme for you. Or spend time with your sangha, do spiritual things. So if you have to travel, Sagittarius makes you travel, and Mars wants to go out and do things. So this could be a good time for pilgrimage, or spending time in the temples. Ninth house is temples, dharmic places. And also Mars is your eighth house, so there'll be a lot of change and transformation. You may actually discover a new, path to dharma for you. You may actually, or refine your existing path, or discover new things, the secrets of dharma, of spiritual path that you're on. So that's going to be the big revelation, because it's the first house, which is you, eighth house, which is change, transformation, ninth house, which is spirituality and dharma and higher wisdom. So you'll gain a lot of higher wisdom and secrets of the universe and discover your dharma, or you'll actually make a lot of progress on your dharma, because Mars in Sagittarius is all action. It'll make you do things, not just make plans, because sometimes Jupiter is all about optimism and hope and doing things in future and this and that, long-term plans. But Mars here will make you actually do those things immediately. So within the next month or so. So December 27th to February 5th. So there'll be a lot of, like, caution is not to, first of all, not to be too fundamentalist about your dharma. Second is, uh, you know, whenever you're taking action, just think about it first still, because it's Mars and it's Sagittarius. But you'll have the blessings of the guru from your lagna, because Aries sign, Jupiter is sitting in your lagna or Rashi. Jupiter is sitting in the first house. So overall, you'll have blessings of the Jupiter, of the guru, throughout your chart, throughout your life, in all aspects of your life. Okay. So that's the transit of Mars in Sagittarius for the sign of Aries. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me. Next, we'll see the sign of Taurus. So we're talking about Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, transiting through the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. And this is the picture. Let's see what's happening. So number 2 sign, this is Taurus. So if you're Taurus rising, which is Taurus Lagna, or if you're Taurus moon sign, which is Rashi, then it applies to you. So number 2 sign is Taurus. And of course, Mars will be transiting through your 8th house. Sagittarius is 8th house for Taurus sign. And Mars is the ruler of your 7th house and your 12th house. Okay. So for Taurus, Mars is a planet that connects your relationships and foreign places and foreign people, and that may also include like losses of some sort, right? Or letting go what is not needed. And now Mars is going to be in the 8th house, so that accentuates that. Basically, uh, the theme will be change and transformation in these areas, possibly in relationships or dealing with foreigners. But also, this is a very let me show you. So this, the 12th house and the 8th house are connected here. Okay, very, very spiritual time. It's all about energy healing, deep healing, change, transformation at a spiritual level. Because 8th house is all about change, transformation, hidden secrets of the universe, and 12th house is other planes of existence, astral planes, and energy healing and clairvoyance, all of that, yoga nidra, lucid dreaming. So that will be the theme for you. And because Mars is a very independent planet, Sagittarius is a very independent sign, so they may want to go alone. But of course, you have blessings of the Jupiter. Jupiter is actually casting an aspect on the sign of Sagittarius from Aries, and Jupiter is direct now. So it's going to be a very, very positive, beneficial aspect. So this chart is screaming about spirituality, spiritual progress. Sagittarius sign is all about spiritual progress, having aspect of Jupiter and the energy of the 8th house and the 12th house. Because it's the 12th house ruler sitting in the 8th house. It's all about your uh, connection with the ancestors, with other planes of existence, and a change and transformation, and secrets will be revealed to you about those areas. Also, your relationship. So if you want to do this with your partner, that'll be ideal. Or you may also experience some change, transformation with respect to your relationships. Um, but a very, very positive time for spiritual progress, and taking action, doing things with respect to your spiritual dharma, your spiritual path. And also a good time to do things for client work if you do client work. So money from other people may flow. 8th house is also money from other people. Okay, but there will be some secrets revealed. Some things will be revealed to you about your relationships. And that may be a good thing. You may discover some things really like jewels, things that really make your relationship grow or nurture, right? It doesn't have to be negative. You have to see what dasha, mahadasha, antardasha you're running. You have to see your natal chart as well. So ideally, you want to superimpose this on top of your natal chart and see what's going on. But in general, this is going to be a very positive time for upliftment of spiritual goals, achieving spiritual goals, and involving your partner as well. So that is the transit of Mars in the sign Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th for Taurus sign, whether Taurus Lagna or Taurus Rashi. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So next we will see the sign of Gemini. So we're talking about the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius. That's going to be from December 27th through February 5th. Okay, so in pretty much entire month of January and few days of December and February, Mars is going to be in Sagittarius. See, if this is Gemini number 3 sign, so whether you're Gemini Lagna or Gemini Rashi, this applies to you. And Mars is going to be transiting through your 7th house in the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, and Mars is the ruler of the 6th house and the 11th house. Okay, so that's the full picture. So we're talking about the effect of Mars going through the 7th house of sign of Sagittarius for Gemini sign. Okay, see, Sagittarius anyway is a very, very independent sign. Sagittarius likes outdoors. Sagittarius doesn't like to sit at home. And Mars, anyway, is a planet that wants to go alone. Is a warrior in chief. It doesn't listen to anybody, except for Jupiter, for the king. So the priest, the guru, right? So Jupiter has an aspect uh, on uh, on on Mars here. So that's the ninth aspect of Jupiter. So that's a good thing. But other than that, because it's your seventh house, which is your relationships, so you may have this urge to go alone in your relationships. You may want to just do your own thing, especially Mars and Sun together. Very, very, first half of January, until 14th of January. So you may have this urge to go alone in your relationships. A lot of pitta energy, a lot of anger possible in your relationships, and it's a fire sign of Sagittarius. So be careful about that. But you'll have blessings of the guru. So guru will save the day. I mean, so even if you have the urge to go alone, you will be achieving things. So excellent time to make spiritual progress in your relationship with your partner. That's the idea, and you'll actually gain. 11th house is financial gains, and reaching out to the friends and social media, all of that. So doing things with your friends for spiritual progress. Okay. Working on social media, networking, because Jupiter is expansive. It's in the 11th house for Gemini sign. So it'll help you develop these friendships and also achieving your desires. That's 11th house. As long as those are good spiritual desires. Okay. And also sixth house ruler sitting in the seventh house. So the theme will be your health. Yeah, a great time to do some physical exercise, physical work for your health. And also, it involves volunteer work. So, doing things together with your partner, volunteer work will be excellent. Like physically, tiring work, like helping out people, building a home for poor people, or delivering meals or things like that. So, actual physical work, which is sixth house, and doing it as a routine, which is sixth house, along with your partner. For other people, volunteer, which is sixth house, and it's the Mars in Sagittarius, so that has a spiritual purpose, like helping other people, or even helping people spiritually in a temple. So those are going to be the themes for the sign of Gemini, whether Gemini Lagna or Rashi, so for Mars in the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And so next we'll see the sign of Cancer. So we're talking about the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. Um, and and let's see the full picture. So this is the sign of Cancer, number 4 sign. And so whether you're Cancer Lagna, which is the rising sign, or Cancer Rashi, which is the Cancer moon sign, this applies to you. Okay, so for Cancer sign, Mars is going to be transiting through the sixth house in the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, and so for Cancer, Mars is your fifth house ruler and your 10th house ruler. A very interesting combination. And then also, you have the Jupiter's aspect on Mars and Sun in your sixth house. So Jupiter is having a ninth aspect from the 10th house on the sixth house. So a lot going on. First of all, in general, Mars and Sagittarius, a wonderful time to go out and do things, achieve things, be independent. Don't be dependent on anybody else. Very positive, optimistic period. Engage in do some sports activities and things like that, and you have blessings of the guru. So, but this is all taking place in your sixth house. Okay, so first of all, a lot of pitta energy for the first half of the month of January. um, be careful at your work. If it's a 9 to 5 kind of a job, be very careful at your work not to get angry, because it's the fire sign, and Sun and Mars are the Pitta fiery planets. Do not get angry with people who work for you, but Mars in the sixth house will make you a fighter. Sixth house is our enemies. Okay. And so if you have, harsh planets in the sixth house, those are beneficial for you to take action against the enemies, both internal enemies and external. Okay. So here, Mars anyway is a fighter. So excellent time for you to fight the enemies, the Shadripus, the six enemies within, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsar, and external enemies as well. So take care of the enemies, of weaknesses. And second is uh, great time to do health work, health routine, physical. This is all about physical because Mars is a physical planet. Mars is Deha Karaka. Okay. Deha means your body. So Mars is the significator of your body in general. That's Deha Karaka. And so, and sixth house is all about exercise and doing things for your body. And so Mars in sixth house is really wonderful for starting some health routine. You can do that with your kids, with your romantic partner. Okay, that's fifth house. So fifth house ruler sitting in the sixth house is excellent for doing hard work, actual physical work, both for your health and helping other people, volunteering, things like that, with your romantic partner or with your kids, and be very creative with that. And also, you'll bring that energy from your work, basically doing things, taking action. And there could be a lot of travel for your work, actually, because 10th house is your career for work. And Mars in Sagittarius is all about going places, going outdoors and doing things. So uh, long distance travels are possible for your work. And if you have anything scheduled or you were planning to do some long distance travels for your work, and if it has some spiritual foundation, spiritual purpose, excellent time for that. Be careful not to be, too fundamentalist, like about your religion, about your dharma, and don't bring it to your work, and don't impose it on your children, because that could be the tendency for Mars and Sagittarius, especially with the sun, and it's the fifth house ruler we're talking about. So that's overall picture for Cancer sign, both Lagna and Rashi for Mars in Sagittarius. The whole focus is on the sixth house and including the energy of the fifth house and the 10th house. So doing hard work, hard physical work for other people and for your health is going to be the theme for spiritual upliftment. So that's the sign of Mars. Next, we'll look at Leo. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Ganesha-Hanuman.com. Sign of Leo. If you're Leo rising sign, Lagna, or Leo Rashi, that's moon sign, this applies to you. And so if you see here, number 5 sign, that's Leo. So that's the Leo sign. And for Leo, Mars is transiting through your fifth house. And fifth house is Sagittarius. Okay. And Mars is the ruler of your fourth house and your ninth house. So overall, Mars is going to be in Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. So in this video, we're talking about this time frame, and what the impact of Mars in Sagittarius is going to be. And so Mars is going to be in your fifth house. And Mars in Sagittarius gives you very, very independent energy, adventurous spirit. You want to take action and go outdoors. And fifth house, anyways, is connected with sports and things like that. So this is a perfect time to engage in some outdoor activities in sports, and doing some physical work or going for a hike, jogging, things like that. Uh, and but one big caution is don't be too fundamentalist when dealing with your children. Is the fifth house, and Mars and Sagittarius could have the tendency of going alone, my way or highway, when it comes to dealing with the children or with your dharma. So don't impose your dharma on your children. Otherwise, there's a lot of fire energy here. Sun and Mars and Sagittarius, all is fire energy. Sun is going to be there until 14th of January. So after that, it'll ease up a little bit. But still, Mars itself in Sagittarius means a lot of Pitta energy, a lot of fire energy, a lot of anger possible. But also Mars is the fourth house ruler. So you may bring, uh, do things with your mother, do physical things, outdoor things. And also your father, actually. So it's the ninth house ruler. Mars rules fourth house and your ninth house. Fourth house is mother, ninth house is father, or doing with your Sangha, especially with your gurus, because Jupiter is sitting in your ninth house. That is all about the guru is in his own house. And uh, so that's a very beneficial aspect of guru directly on your Mars, right? So doing things with your Sangha, doing things with your gurus, with your teachers, maybe higher wisdom, higher education, all of that it will be great But again, Jupiter itself may have this, in essentially, Jupiter and Mars are exchanging signs. You see, Jupiter is in the sign of Mars, and Mars is in the sign Jupiter. So you may bring Jupiter here and Mars here, right? So there's the exchange also. So that's wonderful. That's excellent because Mars listens to the Sun and to Mars and to Jupiter. So both are in connection. So Mars will be listening to the gurus, to the king, to the teachers. And so finding your higher dharma, finding your dharma, basically finding a spiritual purpose. That's going to be the revelation for you, because deep connection of the fifth house and the ninth house, not just the aspect of Jupiter, but the exchange of Jupiter and Mars taking place. Okay, so this is a your fifth and ninth house are activated. Spend a lot of time at temples. Ninth house is temples. Spend a lot of time with your gurus, with your sangha, and with your children. Okay, and maybe with your romantic partner also. The only caution is do not be too fundamentalist. Don't do my way or highway because that's Mars and Sagittarius. So go together, do things together with your mother, with your father, with your gurus, with your children, and create something beautiful. Fifth house is all about creativity. Create something that resonates with you, spiritually. That's going to be fantastic for this duration, December 27th through February 5th. So that's the sign of Leo. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Next, we'll talk about Virgo sign. The sign of Virgo, whether Virgo rising, which is Lagna, or Virgo moon sign, which is Rashi. In other words, if your rising sign is Virgo or your moon is in Virgo, then this applies to you. So this is the picture. So this is number 6 sign, Virgo. And for Virgo, Mars will be transiting through your fourth house of Sagittarius. And we're talking about the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, and that's going to be from December 27th through February 5th. Okay, so Mars is your third house ruler, and Mars is your eighth house ruler. So a lot of theme of change and transformation because third house is eighth from the eighth. Eighth house is change and transformation, and then eighth from eighth is third house. So the theme will be change and transformation in your home environment or with respect to your mother. That's the fourth house. Okay. So you may have this urge to go out of your home, especially. That's going to be a big theme because Mars in Sagittarius is very adventurous, wants to go out and very independent, go on its own, taking action and doing things outdoors and sports and things like that. So kind of like very restless energy. But the good thing is there's an exchange between Jupiter and Mars going on. I'll show you here. So one second. So this is happening, right? So this is the exchange because Jupiter is sitting in the sign of Mars and Mars will be in the sign of Jupiter. So you can bring Mars here and Jupiter there. Okay. So that brings stability to the fourth house matters to your mother, to your home of place of residence. But overall, you'll have the urge to do things at your home, a lot of change, transformation in your home environment. And fourth house is what gives you inner happiness. You may actually discover secrets, things that really make you happy. You may discover inner happiness during this month or month and a half. Okay. You may discover, especially, this is all about spirituality we're talking about because Jupiter is involved. It's a sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Mars and Jupiter are exchanging signs. It's all, the devas, Sun and Mars and Jupiter, they're all friends. And Sun will be here for the first half of January until 14th of January. So, so a lot of sattvic energy, a lot of positive dharmic energy in your fourth house. That's telling you, hey, this is time for change and transformation, and figure out what makes you happy really within in the heart of your hearts. Uh, and you'll discover that maybe through action, through yoga, through outdoor activities, through sports, through some kind of action. And Mars is Dehakaraka, so maybe something to do with your body, change and transformation with your body. And also third house is involved, which is your siblings as well. So they may also be part of the picture. But overall, see, Sagittarius, the purpose is spiritual progress. That's the goal of Sagittarius. So all this is pointing to a very deep, some kind of secrets may be revealed, deep change and transformation, and the universe will help you. Okay, so secrets of the universe, you'll discover those and you'll discover what really makes you happy. So that's the sign of Virgo. So that's the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius for Virgo rising and for Virgo Rashi. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So next we'll talk about Libra sign, the sign of Libra, whether Libra rising, which is the Lagna, so which is the case, like this number 7 sign is Libra. So whether you're Libra rising or your moon is in Libra, that means your Rashi is Libra, then also this applies to you. We're talking about Mars in Sagittarius, the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, which is number 9 sign. And that's going to be from December 27th through February 5th. So if you see here, this transit is going to take place in your third house. So this is the first house, second house, third house. So Mars is going to be in your third house in the sign of Sagittarius, and Mars is the ruler of your second house and your seventh house. Okay. So that's the picture. And also Jupiter is going to be having an aspect on Mars. Not just that, Jupiter is actually going to be exchanging places with Mars. So there's an exchange parivartana yoga going on between Jupiter and Mars. So you can bring Jupiter here because Jupiter is in the sign of Mars and Mars is in the sign of Jupiter. So you can bring Jupiter here and Mars here. So in other words, this is actually one big, caution is this is a sensitive period for relationships because Mars, after exchange, Mars comes here in the seventh house in the sign of Aries. So that's all about me, myself, and going alone. I don't want anybody else. I want, uh, that could be coming from your partner or from you. So you may have this tendency to go alone in your relationships, especially because see Mars in Sagittarius or Mars in Aries. Mars in Sagittarius especially wants to go alone because Sagittarius is a very independent sign. It's a very adventurous sign, outdoor kind of activities and things like that on your own. But then Aries is also a very independent sign. Aries, Mars rules Aries. The first sign is the action, sometimes without thinking. So right away, a big caution is to not go alone in your relationships. If you have to, that's fine. I mean, but see, if you're single, if you're not in a relationship, that's great. You'll have all the energy to go alone and do things outdoors and spiritual upliftment, all of that. You may discover relationship with yourself, what your relationship is, with the world, with yourself. But if you're in a relationship, make sure you're not, being super or too independent. Do not be fundamentalist. Do not be an extreme case where you want to do things on your own. Okay, focus on your partner also. Although Jupiter is exchanging with Mars, so there will be blessings of the Guru of the Jupiter. But still, when Jupiter goes to Sagittarius after exchange, this is going to be even more like independent kind of nature energy. So be careful about that. But also Mars is the second house ruler. So there's a connection between second house, third house, and the seventh house. So your family wealth and your family may be involved. Okay, so your words, your speech is involved. So your speech with respect to your partners, so be very careful when you're talking with your partners, when you're dealing with your partners. Okay. So do not use harsh words. That's the recommendation. That's the one thing to take care, to be very mindful of. Be very careful. Other than that, the third house is involved. So that is your communication as well. So in all sorts of communications, be very gentle. Do not be very fiery, angry, pitta kind of a Mars. And third house is also your skills. So develop some new skills with your partner, especially with your hands. Learn something new. Mars will make you, do things, action. This is like not planning for the next 5 years. This is action. And we're talking about December 27th through February 5th. So that's the overall energy for the sign of Libra. And we're talking about Mars transiting through the sign of Sagittarius. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Next, we'll talk about the sign of Scorpio. Okay. So we're talking about this is the number 8 sign, Scorpio. So if you're Scorpio rising, which is the Lagna, or Scorpio moon sign, which is Rashi, this applies to you. We're talking about Mars in the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. And and Mars is, of course, your Lagna lord, right? Mars is sitting in the second house in the sign of Sagittarius. and Mars is your Lagna Lord and your sixth house ruler. So for Scorpio, usually Scorpio people may have a tendency to, because it's the first house and the sixth house involved, which is your enemies, and first house is you. So sometimes you may be in your way, in your own way, right? So your mind may be coming in your own way. You may be like your own enemy, kind of in a way. So be careful about that tendency. Now, in this during this transit, of course, and there is also an exchange going on between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, because Jupiter is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So they are exchanging places. So Mars is going to be in your sixth house, and then Jupiter will come over to your second house. Okay, so um, a good time to do some speeches, webinars and things like that, which have a spiritual foundation. Do YouTube videos, things like that, because second house will give you name and fame with Jupiter and Sun both together in the second house after exchange with Mars, at least through January 14th. Okay, so wonderful time to go out and speak about spiritual subjects. Take care of your family wealth, grow your family wealth, focus on your family wealth, and focus on yourself. We're talking about the Lagna Lord. Okay. And see, Lagna Lord is in a sign of Sagittarius, which is all about spiritual upliftment. And it has a exchange with Guru, aspect of Guru, exchange with Guru, and in a spiritual sign of Sagittarius. So all of that points to your own spiritual upliftment. Okay. And what makes you happy. And this could be through volunteer work as well. Sixth house is volunteer, and do a lot of exercise, a lot of physical work, outdoor work, hiking, exploring outdoor stuff. And so that's Mars and Sagittarius. And anyway, sixth house is hard work. Sixth house is doing things for yourself, for your health, and for other people, so helping other people. So that's going to be the theme for 1 second, for Mars in the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th, for the sign of Scorpio, whether in Lagna Scorpio or Rashi Scorpio. Okay, so if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Next, we're going to look at Sagittarius, sign of Sagittarius, whether Lagna or Rashi. If you're a Sagittarius, Lagna, which is the rising sign, or if you have Moon in Sagittarius, which is Rashi, this applies to you. So let's see quickly what's happening. So first of all, Sagittarius in number 9 sign is Sagittarius, and Mars is placed in your Lagna, of course, right? So Mars, we're talking about Mars in Sagittarius, which is sitting in your Lagna. And for Sagittarius, Mars is your 12th house ruler and your 5th house ruler. Okay, so that's the picture. And also we have this exchange between Jupiter and Mars going on. Okay, because Jupiter is in the sign of Mars, which is Aries, and Mars is in the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius. So there's an exchange. You can bring Mars here and you can bring Jupiter here. So Jupiter will come here. That means overall, that's not just now, not just for this period, but in general, whenever Jupiter is sitting in the Lagna, there's blessings throughout your life. So during this period, when the exchange is going to be there from December 27th through February 5th, essentially, you can actually bring your Jupiter over to your Lagna. So that's a huge. So this is a big transit for Sagittarius. What it's doing is, as soon as Mars enters Sagittarius on December 27th, it will actually bring Jupiter to your Lagna after exchange. So you'll have blessings of the Guru in all of your areas of life. Okay. And focus will be on yourself, because Mars, we're talking about Mars sitting in the Lagna, and then also your children. It's the 5th house ruler, which is your children and your romantic partner and your creative work. So create something that that reveals who you are. That's the first house. The theme is around first house, and also the 12th house is involved, which is all about astral travel, other planes of existence. Letting go. Donation is a big remedy for you. Giving donation, especially to the priests, or to foreigners, or to foreign places, or going on a pilgrimage. Excellent time, because Mars in Sagittarius loves to travel, go outdoors and doing things, exploring things, and especially for spiritual upliftment. So what better way could be than going on a pilgrimage, could be in a foreign country. Okay, so that's the 12th house energy. And Mars will support you. Jupiter will support you because Jupiter is exchanging with Mars as well. So go for any kind of spiritual journeys, pilgrimage, or if not physically, at least in your mind, that's 12th house, visit other planes of existence, do yoga nidra, astral travel, things like that. So that's the energy. The caution is, do not do my way or highway because there is a tendency of Mars and Sagittarius being a very kind of like a fundamentalist attitude. So stay away from that, although Jupiter will protect you. But the sign of Sagittarius, anyway, that's your Lagna or Rashi, because you may have tendency, all the qualities of Sagittarius, right? So careful about not doing things that are like extreme, as in you just want to go your way or go alone, even if other people are interested in going along or doing things with you or helping you or getting help from you. So could be a lot of pitta fiery energy in your mind, in your logical mind, the way you think. So stay away from anger, but otherwise excellent time for spiritual upliftment, also for your children and for your romantic partners. So that's the sign of Sagittarius. We're talking about Mars in Sagittarius. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Next, we'll talk about the sign of Capricorn. See, Capricorn, uh, so this is number 10 sign, Capricorn. So whether you're Capricorn Lagna, which is the rising sign, or Capricorn Rashi, which is the moon sign, this applies to you. And so for Capricorn, we're talking about Mars and Sagittarius. If you see here, Mars is sitting in your 12th house. This is the sign of Sagittarius. And the time period is from December 27th through February 5th. And and also Mars is the ruler of the 11th house and the 4th house. Okay, so uh, that's the energy it's bringing in, energy of 4th house and energy of the 11th house. And if you see here, there's an exchange between Mars and Jupiter going on. Okay, because Mars is sitting in the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius, and Jupiter is sitting in the sign of Mars, which is Aries. So you can exchange their places, Parivartana Yoga. So what's happening is 12th house will be activated, and it's kind of the moksha trikona is activated. The 4th house and 8th and 12th house are activated. There's an exchange going on. So uh, you may, because see, 4th house is your home, right? And 12th house is foreign places or travel and far off places. So this is kind of like going away from your home on a pilgrimage, things, or coming back from, or some people may visit you, like some gurus or some foreigners may visit you in your home and make your home a sanctuary. And one caution is when Mars comes here after exchange, there may be some pitta, fiery energy at your home, at your place of residence, or with your mother. But you'll still have blessings of the Guru. Jupiter will be aspecting, and there's exchange, of course. Very strong connection between Mars and Jupiter here. And Mars listens to Jupiter. Mars listens to the Guru, the Brihaspati. And so also good time to do volunteer work, to do especially donations, like letting go of things. That's the theme of the 12th house. If not voluntary, then you'll be forced to, there could be expenses and things like that. So before that happens, just give some donations, do some charity work, especially for spiritual purposes, like maybe, donation of Gita or the books or dharmic stuff, or helping with the temples, things like that. Or a good thing is donation to the priests. That's the 12th house. Donation for the priests, and maybe in a foreign country. So, for example, if you're in the US, you can donate for some temples or priests in India, or any other country, right? So, in a foreign country. So, that combines the foreign aspect, that combines the donation, and that combines the priests. So, that's all the 12th house energy. So, that's the big recommendation. And also, your friends are involved. That's the 11th house. So do something spiritual, uplifting work with your friends, volunteer work, physical work, um, and keep your desires in check, because Jupiter is involved. That's expansion. So you may have expansive desires, and I want this, I want that. So that keep that in check. And also, as I mentioned, your anger, your fiery pitta energy with respect to your mother or with your home, that's going to be a key thing to keep in mind. But otherwise, be very, very active, and spiritual upliftment with foreigners and donations, and with your mother also, with your place of residence. All of that is the theme for Capricorn sign for Mars in Sagittarius from December 27th to February 5th. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So next is Aquarius sign, the sign of Aquarius, which is either which is number 11 sign you see here. So either your Aquarius rising, which means your Lagna is Aquarius, or your moon is in Aquarius. That means your Aquarius Rashi. This applies to you. So for Aquarius, we're talking about the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, and you see Mars is in the 11th house here. Okay, and so Mars is your 10th house ruler and your third house ruler. And there's an exchange going on between Mars and Jupiter. You see here. So, uh, so these two, Jupiter and Mars, are exchanging signs. That means Parivartan Yoga. Jupiter is in the sign of Mars, Aries, and Mars is in the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius. So you can bring Mars here and you can bring Jupiter here. So when you bring Mars here, first of all, excellent for fighting the day-to-day enemies. Okay. Number two, excellent for learning some new skills, taking action. That's Mars in Aries. And then Jupiter coming here, expansion of your network, expansion of your presence on social media, and that to a very royal presence. That's Jupiter and Sun together, at least until January 14th. And also, but keep your desires in check, because Jupiter in the 11th will make you, want a lot of things. Uh, but the theme is spiritual upliftment, because Sagittarius is all about making progress spiritually, and Mars there will make you take action, be very, very active and doing things, and doing things on your own, being very independent. If other people are not supporting you, that's fine. Do things on your own. Be active on social media, but as long as you're, posting spiritual stuff, spiritual things. That's the third, the 11th house, and also, it's the 10th house involved, so that's your career, your profession, your superior, the authorities. So take some action to bring some spiritual change in your career. One caution: do not be fundamentalist, my way or highway, because that's the tendency of Sagittarius, and especially Mars there could accentuate that. And then also after exchange, Jupiter comes there as well. So you can go alone if no others are not supporting you, but do not ignore others if they are willing to support, or if they want to go with you or do things with you. Do not be a loner. Do not that's Mars. I mean, Mars wants to do things on its own. So that's a big caution for Aquarius. Involve other people, but otherwise, like, involve your siblings. There's a deep connection between siblings and your friends and your co-workers. So that's the energy for the sign of Aquarius for Mars in Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So next we'll talk about the sign of Pisces. So number 12 sign is Pisces. If your Pisces rising, which is the Lagna, or if your moon is in Pisces, which is Pisces Rashi, then it applies to you. So for Pisces Rashi or Pisces Lagna, Mars is going to be transiting through your 10th house. We're talking about Mars in Sagittarius, the transit of Mars in the sign of Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th. And the Mars is your 9th house ruler and your 2nd house ruler. Okay. So that's the energy it's bringing into the sign of Sagittarius. And on top of that, there's one other big thing going on is Mars is actually uh, uh, exchanging signs with Jupiter. So Jupiter is in the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So they are exchanging signs. It's called Parivartan Yoga. So you can bring Mars here to the 2nd house, and you can bring Jupiter here to the 10th house. So overall theme is your career. Focus on your career and your family and your gurus and higher wisdom and higher education, spiritual upliftment, your dharma. See, we say spiritual upliftment for all the transits and stuff. That's not the case. This is especially true when Mars is going to be in Sagittarius, because we're talking about the sign of Sagittarius. The entire theme, the goal, the purpose of Sagittarius is spiritual progress. And Mars is the planet of action. So you want to take action for your spiritual progress. That's the general theme. But then this is taking place in your 10th house. That means maybe transform your career spiritually, bring some spiritual aspects to your career. And also ninth house is involved, ninth ruler in the 10th house. That means higher purpose, your dharma, your gurus, people who like your superiors, so involve them, spend time with them, learn from them, and go on a pilgrimage. That's the ninth house as well. Spend time in temples. And also second house, involve your family, do things with your family together for spiritual upliftment. One caution is Mars. When Mars goes to second house is house of speech, and it's the Mars is the Pitta planet, and it's the sign of Aries, which is a fiery sign, right? So there could be tendency to have harsh words. So stay away from harsh words. That's a very, very big caution. And secondly, stay away from my way or highway kind of attitude. That is Sagittarius. So don't be too fundamentalist. Um, Other than that, do things for your spiritual progress in your career and with your family, and you can work on things on your family wealth. Uh, Take action, develop some plans, both, develop plans and possibly start taking action on your family wealth as well. That's second house. And there's a big, big connection with your career as well. So that's the energy for Mars and Sagittarius from December 27th through February 5th for the sign of Pisces. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.